How's it going, friends? My name is Fringy, and welcome to Fringy Frequency for November 27th, 2014. You know, I was on the bus the other day, and we drove past another bus, and I saw this big ad on the side of the bus for Far Cry 4. It was a PlayStation ad. Now, I noticed something in the corner of the ad, and it said exclusive content for PlayStation. Basically, only on PlayStation can you do, like, drop-in co-op with someone who doesn't own the game. It was a PlayStation exclusive feature. And I sat there and I was scratching my head and I thought to myself, wow, that's actually kind of shit. We're talking about console exclusive content and why anybody who supports console exclusive content is either a hypocrite or a complete asshole. Console exclusive content is not good for gaming. It's not. It's not something that you should be happy about. It's not something you should be applauding at E3. It's bad for gaming. And I'm going to explain to you why. So, I've gone on record to say that I'm not a fan of the fact that exclusive games need to exist, but exclusive games are essential to the console market, at least. You need to have exclusive games to differentiate your platform from other consoles. Otherwise, you just buy a PC, or if PCs were out of the equation, you just buy the most powerful console. Makes sense. There is a situation where it's kind of like a mutually beneficial or mutually detrimental thing depending on the relationship between the console company and the consumer. You know, there's Nintendo where they have their own IPs and they're like, hey, buy our console and you get to use and you get to play all of our IPs. Whereas with Microsoft and Sony, it always feels like they're holding games ransom. Like, you have to buy our console or you can't play this. It's a subtle difference, but it's a different nonetheless. So it can be beneficial or detrimental, but it's necessary, which is why I give it a free pass. But console exclusive content is not only unnecessary and bad for gamers, but it's bad for everyone. Nobody wins. Console exclusive content does nothing but screw over every single party that's involved. Every single party. Let me explain. So, console exclusive content is basically when a third-party game has content that's either exclusive or timed exclusive to one particular brand. This is something that you see where it's like, oh, you know, this is getting a PlayStation exclusive content, or with Call of Duty and timed exclusive content on Xbox. And, you know, Microsoft has been pretty bad in this regard, but I gotta admit, Sony's been a lot worse. I mean, there are so many games that have console exclusive content only for PlayStation, and they've been doing this for like 5 years now, and people supported it for some reason. But, I mean, this is how someone would probably spin it to try and make it positive. They're giving you extra content because you decided to buy a PlayStation. No, they're not. They're taking away content from the other platforms. That is what it is. If something is made before launch, and one console gets it first, or gets it, period, and the other platforms don't get it, that's not you getting extra, that's just other people getting less, because they chose a different console to you. Or if you're on PC like me for third-party games, you get shafted all around, because there's no PC exclusive content, ever. And it blows me away that people are sitting there saying this is good, and that people at E3 are clapping to this. Haha, you bought a console that I have, and you don't get to have this stuff. Ha ha ha, ha, you get less content for your money. That's truly great. I mean, fucking hell. And then, of course, you got the thing where DLC is exclusive to one platform. This is a more common one now. Microsoft has been doing it with timed exclusive, which is utterly pointless. All you're doing is basically paying a company to delay the release on a different platform. That's all they're doing. But then, of course, you got examples like Destiny, where all of the DLC was exclusive to PlayStation. How is anybody sitting there saying, ah, yeah, that's fantastic news? What, so you're happy that people on Xbox are not going to be able to get any of the DLC until 2015? It's already been developed. All they need to do is port it to the Xbox One and Xbox 360, but they just aren't, because they got paid not to do it. You aren't getting extra, other people are just getting less. How hard is that to understand? And yet people seem to have a difficult time grasping this concept. Understanding that there's a big difference between additional stuff and you just getting the same and other people getting less. Additional stuff would be like if you pre-order a game and you get a cool statue. That's additional. That was not part of the game. That's something that is separate from the game, but with it at the same time. As opposed to a feature just not being in a different platform. I mean, a lot of people got pissed when Metro Last Light pulled the whole, you gotta pre-order to get Ranger mode. They weren't happy about that, because they were like, well, if I don't pre-order, I get punished. Let's draw some parallels. Okay, you buy a PlayStation, Assassin's Creed Unity has Xbox exclusive content. I'm being punished because I bought a PlayStation. You see where I'm going with this? And it may sound like I'm picking on Sony, but I'm not. Both parties are equally guilty of this. You've got PlayStation and Xbox fans using these arguments against each other, like, haha, we get Call of Duty DLC a month before everybody else. Haha, we get exclusive content for Watch Dogs. And all this back and forth. And it just makes no sense. You're just getting less for everything you buy. And if you decide to go on PC, or like get a PlayStation or an Xbox, and then a third-party game comes out, like Evolve, which has exclusive content for the Xbox One, you're getting shafted. And then the same thing happens with a game like Far Cry 4, where you can't play co-op. And I don't want to hear someone say to me, oh, but no, but the console manufacturer would have funded the development of that. No, they didn't fund the development of that. They just paid them not to put that feature into the other platforms. That's all they did. That's all they did. So you're getting shafted, you're getting less value for the games that you buy, and you're being punished because you chose the platform that you like. Keeping in mind, these are third-party games with exclusives, it makes sense. They're games that are either being funded in development by Microsoft or published by Microsoft or Sony or, you know, whatever. So at least that makes sense. They're making the game, it's a game for their platform only. That makes sense. But when you pay a third party like Activision or EA or Ubisoft or 2K just not to release stuff on other platforms, that's not cool with me. I don't like that. I don't like that other people are being punished for their preferences. I don't like the fact that because I choose to play all my multi-platform games on PC, I'm getting less value for my money. I don't like the fact that people who don't have every single console are going to be missing out on pretty decent content. I mean, drop in, drop out co-op without one of the players needing to own the game? That's awesome feature. And you can't get it because you chose a different platform. Even though it's a multi-platform game. Do you see where I'm going with this? And it blows me away, because I know someone's going to try and defend this conduct in the comments, but all I'll say to you is, if you got pissed off that Rise of the Tomb Raider was an Xbox exclusive, then you are a hypocrite if you think this is fine, okay? Because Rise of the Tomb Raider, upon further thinking, is basically the same thing. Microsoft paid them money not to release it on a platform. I said they could do it if they wanted to, just like these third parties can, if they choose to, do this. But it doesn't make it fine. It doesn't mean I'm like, yeah, this is great conduct. Because it's not. It's bad for gamers. It's bad for you. It's bad for me. It's bad for gamers. But I said it was bad for everyone. And I'm right. It is bad for everybody. Even the console companies. Let's move on to them. Now, the thing about this console exclusive content is that, for me, it is not an incentive to buy a console. Wow, I get the Call of Duty map packs a month before everybody else. I would definitely go out and buy an Xbox. I mean, has anybody really thought that except for people who are just bro dudes and only play Call of Duty? Has anybody ever thought that? I know I haven't. And the same thing happened with Watch Dogs. I didn't buy Watch Dogs on the PS4 for some console exclusive shit. I just bought it on PC. Because even though they're locking stuff behind you know, this platform, it's still not good enough to make me want to go out and buy a different console just to buy that game. Because it's a third-party game. So, yeah, and consider how much they have to pay for this. I mean, Microsoft and Sony are going to be having to pay a pretty penny to do this and pay these companies to hold off content for different platforms. It costs money. It costs a lot of money. Not to mention that a lot of these times, Microsoft and Sony actually partner up with third parties to advertise the game as a title for that platform. I mean, look at Assassin's Creed Unity. That was marketed as an Xbox game. I saw posters all over the place, whereas like Assassin's Creed Unity for Xbox One, even though it's on everything. They've been doing this with Call of Duty, Sony's been doing this with a lot of Ubisoft's other games like Far Cry, Watch Dogs. They did it with Destiny. That costs money. But it doesn't work for me. I mean, it might work. It might, but is it really worth it? Are people really going to buy your platform just for some exclusive content for a third-party game? No, they probably aren't. I mean, it's the same thing that's happening with Tomb Raider. Now that we know it's a timed exclusive, how many people are going to go out and buy an Xbox just for that game when we know it'll be coming to PC and PS4 later down the line anyway? It doesn't work. It's not beneficial for these guys. And yet they do it anyway for some inexplicable reason that I cannot explain to you. It's fucking ridiculous. But who else is it bad for? Well, it's bad for the third parties. It's bad for the third parties as well. Because like, as much as there are a lot of people who seem to support third-party content, a lot of people don't. A lot of people aren't fond of the fact that all this content's getting split up because they chose a different platform. A lot of people aren't particularly fond of this. And I applaud those people. Because those people are using their brains. They're using their noggins. They're actually thinking. Because it doesn't benefit anybody. It's all around bad for gaming. And it blows me away, though, that there are still people there who tout these things as reasons to buy their platform. Or why their platform is better. I mean, I've seen people argue the point that apparently it's good to pay for Xbox Live Gold because it means you get DLC first for Call of Duty. Are you fucking kidding me? Oh my god. It blows my mind. It just blows my mind how people are just sitting there looking at this sort of thing and going, yeah, nah, this is fantastic. Or worse still, those fuckers at E3 clapping. I mean, E3 this year, I mean, how much of it for Sony and Microsoft was just third-party games with little taglines saying, DLC first for our platform, exclusive content for our platform. I mean, are you kidding me? These are third-party games. They aren't Sony games or Microsoft games. They're third-party games being marketed as games for these different platforms. Marketing Far Cry 4, a game that's on basically every platform as a PlayStation game. Assassin's Creed Unity being marketed as an Xbox game. Call of Duty's been marketed as an Xbox game for years. For fucking years. It's a third-party game being marketed as a game for this platform. You got all these deals going on and content being locked away from your fellow gamers, and you think this is good for gaming? I mean, even YouTubers that I really like think this is good. Who think that exclusive content for third-party games is good for gaming. It's not. Because it's not additional content. It's not additional. It's not extra. It is content that was made and locked away from other gamers. And you're sitting there laughing, clapping, rubbing it in their faces. Haha, I bought a platform that you didn't. And because of your preference, you don't get as much content for third-party multi-platform games as I do. Ha ha ha. I mean, that makes you a piece of shit in my eyes. Laughing that other gamers can't access things that you can. Why would you laugh about that? Why would you think that's good? I mean, who in the fuck is sitting there thinking it is good that other gamers are getting less content for their money? That's essentially what you're saying when you clap about exclusive content for multi-platform games. With an exclusive, I guess you can clap. I mean, it's fine because, exclusive games are a necessity. They're a necessary part of console gaming. That's fine. That's fine and dandy with me. It's a-okay to be happy about exclusives coming to your platform. But exclusive content for third-party games? No, I don't think so. And I think it's fairly bad and kind of a sad state of affairs when so many actual gamers, or gamers, I should put that in quotation marks, actually think this sort of thing is great. That this is fantastic. They're waving the fucking flag for Sony, Microsoft, saying that this is good for gaming and good for them. It's not good for you. It's really fucking not. And you really need to stop saying that it is too. and leading other gamers astray by telling them that exclusive content for third-party games is good. It's good that fellow gamers get less content for their money. It's good that games content gets split up across different platforms. It's good that multi-platform games are marketed as console-specific titles. It's good that people on PC, especially, get left in the fucking dirt and left in the dust because they chose to game on PC and get less content for their money. It's good. And look, if it was happening with a couple of games, I wouldn't have such a problem with it. Well, I would, but I mean, I wouldn't be having as much of an issue with it. But it's the fact that almost every single game now that's multi-platform has exclusive content that I don't like. How many games at E3 had exclusive content for different platforms? How many ads for games do you see where the game is being marketed as a PlayStation title or an Xbox title, even though it's a multi-platform game? And how many E3s have we had in the last few years that barely show any exclusive games and are just filled with multiplats where it's like, haha, this multi-platform game has exclusive content for this platform. Yeah, it's fucking great, except I'm gonna get it on PC anyway, so devote some of that time, I mean, just devote some of it to showing me some exclusive games that you funded the development for, that you decided to buy the IP, where you decided to go out and buy a certain developer, fund the game, and actually work and develop it with them. You know, do some effort. Instead of just throwing money all over the place and getting all these third-party companies to shaft over the consumer just for your console's sake. Even though it doesn't help you. It doesn't help you. You're just wasting money for no reason, getting gamers to fight against each other over things that they should be standing together against and fighting back against you. Fuck it. I'm done. I'm done. Fuck console exclusive content. It's bullshit. It's bad for gaming. It's bad for the gamers especially. And it's part of the reason why the industry is turning into such shit. With all this different content from games getting split up to the highest bidders and to people who were just lucky to buy the platform that they did, while punishing other people because they didn't pre-order or because they didn't buy the platform that you played on. That's Fringy Frequency. I'm Fringy. Have a good one.